Good day, everyone. It's Kevin Alft, CEO of Actually Coach Texas, Actually Coach of DFW. Today's business spotlight, we're got the honor of learning from Wilton Rogers. Wilton is a lifetime entrepreneur, having growing up on a farm and learned a whole lot about responsibility, and has built a number of businesses, successfully sold a handful of them. And some, of course, he suffered what some entrepreneurs do. And of course, you either win or you learn, right, Wilton? So, Wilton, take it
Right.
away. Tell us a bit about yourself, your businesses, and about your journey.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for the nice introduction and for inviting me to this. I really appreciate you allowing me to share my story. Yeah, a little bit about my background. Like you said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. Been at it since I was probably 6, 7 years old. Growing up on a farm, and being surrounded by animals. It was just something we did. I mean, it was every day we had something to do, and it was just part of what we did. And and I just remember getting the business bug by going to church one day, and one lady talking to my mom, and she said that she had to go buy a bunch of eggs. She didn't have time to go buy them. I told her to come by the house. I had plenty of eggs 'cause at the time we had about 100 chickens, and we were laying dozens and dozens of eggs a day. And I would give them out to all family members, but I would just give them out. I would just say, "Here it is," and they were happy. Never even thought about selling them. She came by and she goes, "How much is it?" I said, "Well, you could just take them." She goes, "No, no, no, no. I'm paying you for this. You don't." She goes, "You can give to your family, but people ask you for eggs. You take their money. You gotta earn this because you're working hard." And I was like, "Okay." And I said, "What do you want?" So she gave me whatever. I think it was like a quarter, or back then it was a quarter or whatever it is for a dozen. I ended up with a couple of dollars. And I was like, "Wow, this is a lot of money back then, right?" So, but what got that bug going was I saw the joy that she got when I gave her those eggs. And that just sort of hit my soul. And I was like, whoa, I love how I made her feel. And that's sort of where I got, I didn't even know at the time it was just a entrepreneur bug, but I just saw that joy that it brought to her. And I said, "Do you think you want some more next Sunday?" She goes, "Absolutely." She goes, "Why don't you pick some more to the church and bring me some?" So I said, "I'll take them." So I took them. Talked to a couple of my mom's other friends. They said they want some eggs, and about within a month, I was selling 10, 15 dozen eggs after after church. And for about 2 years, I did that, and I became the guy that sold eggs after church. And so I would literally open up the back of our truck and pull out eggs, and people just come by and buy eggs. And because after church would go home and eat, they need the eggs, so they know Sunday was waiting for Sunday to get the eggs from Wilton. So that's how I started my entrepreneur life. And from that point it just sort of took off. And I never really went into business itself, but I always said, okay, now I got to cut wood. I used to go, cut cords of wood and put in the side of my house and said, "Here's a cord of wood for $200." And people stop by, put a big old sign there, and people come by and give me $200, pack their car truck full of wood, and I just had piles and piles of wood. And so I just made money that way. It was like fun. And where it really got to me when I feel like, okay, I can really do this, is my uncle had a shoe store in a little town called Las Vegas, New Mexico, just about 2 hours north of Albuquerque. And and I told him, "Can I help him, work at his store?" I said, "I just want to learn what you guys are doing." He goes, "Sure." He had about three salespeople selling shoes. And I was talking to people, asking them what they wanted. They asked me what they were looking at. I said, "How do you know?" Ask them, "Well, this shoe, how does your foot, how does it feel in your foot? Do you run? Do you do this?" And I just ask them questions. What do you want the shoes for? So I want to be able to run faster. I want to be able to walk longer. I stay on my feet longer. I said, "Oh, I tried this one, has cushion." And I really didn't know I was selling. I was just listening to their stories. And within a month or so, my uncle said, "Hey, you know what? You want?" He gave me some money. He's like, "Here you go." I said, "Oh, I was doing this for free." He goes, "No, here, you made more money than our salespeople put together." He goes, "I'm going to give you some commission. Here it is." He goes, "Do you want a summer job?" I said, "Absolutely." So I got a summer job, and that's when he taught me. He's like, "You're really good at what you do, and this comes natural." He goes, "When you listen to people, you listen to their stories, you can help them out. But what you do is you study what they want and you work on what they want." And so he goes, "If you study the shoes on how they work for the people, when you talk to somebody, you know where to take them, exactly where to take them." That's what I did. So he gave me a book to read about what these, I didn't know shoes can do certain things and how they fit and how long you can stand on your feet and all these different things. I was like, I was just very intrigued. So, and that just sort of took off. And from that point on, I knew that hey, I could make a living doing this. And so I went to school for communications. I didn't go to business, but what I did do is I always knew that I learned faster by working with people that were already doing it, because I can catch on a lot easier. So I went into doing video production. I went to a company that knew how to do commercials and wedding videos, and then I put up my own studio and I did my own. I grew that and I sold that. And then I went and opened a cell phone company, but I worked for somebody for about a year, saw what they were doing, grew, saved my money, opened up my own, and moved on and did that. Did in the industry. Um, did very well. And then the 2008 hit, and I was one of the ones that lost everything. So I had to start from scratch again. Went to the fitness studio, went in the fitness industry, and did the same thing. Worked for a couple of different fitness companies for about a year, about 2, 3 years, and then opened up my own and grew. And so I just sort of learned that way. It's like learning, but I understood during that time I was just learning how to improve it, how I can help out people a little more, and just learn from those, ask questions all the time. And that led me to what I'm doing now, which is, business automation, helping businesses automate all their manual processes. As an entrepreneur, you really, you understand the stress and all the hats you have to wear as a business owner. And I was like, this can help out small businesses. I know for a fact because I know the pain. And so I just consumed myself on how to really help out businesses. And it just sort of, took off from that point. And I've had my automation company now for going on 5, 6 years, almost 6 years now. And it's growing. And when I first started, we were only working in the enterprise world. So, companies $500 million were the only ones doing what we're doing now. But I knew it was like, well, if they're doing it, anybody else can do it too. And no one else is doing it. And I remember being on a round table and them laughing at me saying, what are you doing? You're working with small businesses and they're going to pay you nickels and dimes when you can make $100,000 off one pop doing this. I was like, small business is the heartbeat of our country. What are you talking about? There's like, this is where we're going to be. I said, if I have to break that mold or be the pioneer, so be it. And so I did, and I did struggle for a couple of years, and it's been more of a more education, how to educate them. But long story short, it became more like this is my passion. I know I can help out people and I can help out businesses because being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, your goal is to grow your business and to be able to help whatever industry you're in. And so I took it upon myself to create that path, and here we are 5.5 years later, and I'm still at it. So that's pretty much my story.
Quite an entrepreneurial journey from 6 years old onwards. So that's fascinating, Wilton.
Yes, yes, yeah.
So as you look at your most recent business, what do you attribute the growth to?
I think the growth has been well, first of all, it's been about the growth has been because of education. And I've been, when I first got involved, I was like, I knew we could help out businesses. But when you work with enterprise companies, they already have the tech savvy mindset. They already have a team that can do it. All you have to do is show them what you can do. You can talk their language. Small businesses, it's more about educating them. You have a bunch of baby boomers, that are still trying to work their way out of the corporate world or their business, but they still have that mindset. Like, they're not tech savvy. So they're trying to relate it over. So I think the growth has been being able to help them understand how automation, how new technology is a asset, is a beneficial to the company and not a roadblock, and how to really use it the right way and how fast it can be used. So I think the growth has been more of an education, because once you educate somebody and they understand it, um, the growth is unbelievable. So that's been helpful. But getting people to talk, sit down and talk to you about it as a small business, it's hard because as small business owners, you get hit all day long with sales pitches. And they're like, yeah, regular old sales pitch like everybody else. Like, no, how can you educate them? Create a library, create an atmosphere where people can go and see what you do. So that's what we've done. We created a, like on LinkedIn, we have a bunch of use cases, we have testimonies, we have videos. We're updating our website now where you're going to have all these educational libraries you can just go to and see what it's all about. So you can, and you can break that, that skepticism, like, okay, wait, they're a little different. So, that's what we've done a little bit different, and it's helped us see some easy, not want to say easy, some quick wins.
Anything else that makes your business unique?
I think the main thing that makes our business unique is that we are a full service automation AI model. You know what I mean by that is, as a business owner, you rely on applications and softwares and everything else to sort of help your business run. But sometimes you don't have the right software, or you don't have the right process built to make it run, at a level that you want it to run. So what we've done is we've been able to go in there and identify what you're currently doing and finding out what you're working with right now without switching any of your applications, without doing anything, automate what you have and do what's called a digital transformation or intelligent automation, where you can sit back and we just automate what you're currently doing using the same applications, using the same software, everything. And at that point, sit back and say, okay, now, if you want to scale, if you want to grow, are we going to use the same logic, the same applications, or can we eliminate some or bring another one in that's going to be more cost effective to help you scale? When people understand, when we're able to sit down with companies and show them how to really use automation AI, that's what makes us different, is because most people just go in there and sell a software. We don't sell a software. We sell a service. It's like, hey, we're a service model. So it shows what you're working with, and we'll show you how to maximize what you're working with. That makes sense?
100%. When we look at the plight of the small, medium-sized businesses in the last 4 years, it's been significant with COVID and everything, and some of what was put in place, and the cost of money, or cost of capital, labor, supply, on and on and on. Automation is such a tremendous opportunity, and to guide them on how to have it become part of their business, although they're small, medium-sized business, they too can have automation. It's not just for the big boys. So well
Right.
done. That's a fabulous service. Fabulous service.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, you've built a number of businesses. We look at your current business. If you had to start from square one, what would you do different, Wilton? What would you do different?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I think one thing that I would do different is be more open to suggestions. I think as a business owner, um, I don't know if it was pride or ego, but you allow that to sometimes get in the way, cloud your vision on good opportunities and opportunities for growth. Because there has been, when I look at it now as me trying to service people, there's other people that have been trying to service me where I sort of blew them off. So if I can go back, I would at least do more research and give more opportunities to some opportunities that came through that I lost out on because I closed the door on them, and it could help my business grow a lot faster. So there's, I held on to a mortgage company where I saw all the red lights popping up, but I was too stubborn to step away when I had someone willing to buy me out. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to grow this thing to be $100 million next year. And that turned into negative money the next year. Right? And it was red lights all the way. And so I think it was more of a not allowing myself to give other people that were professionals the opportunity to show me what I'm capable of doing with what I have.
That's wise counsel for all the owners who are listening to this one. I've got several mentors myself. Why? They can see things that I just cannot see because I'm inside of me and I'm inside my business. They come from outside perspective. That alone gives them opportunity to see things I cannot, because
Right.
they come from the outside. Is that a little bit of
That's
what
what
you've come to understand?
that's what I really come to understand. Even now, I already know a sales pitch and I know an opportunity,
Nice.
because I've done my research. And if I see an opportunity that sounds like a sales pitch, I'll look into it to see if it's an opportunity, if it's still a sales pitch, right? So, but I've learned that because I don't want to have those, I don't want to be able to delay my opportunity for success. And so I've taken those opportunities to know, okay, well, yeah, maybe half an hour spent with this person, but that half an hour might turn into a gold mine, you
Mhm.
know. Let's if it's down the path that I'm already looking at or that I envision my company going, give them that time to to pitch what they're doing. And that's what I've done, and it's really helped us out, helped our company out, and it's brought in, um, you know, I've been acquired, but it's brought in leaders in this industry that are very well known throughout the world to be part of to invest in my company because of those opportunities, and so yeah, it's totally different now. It's totally different.
Makes all the difference. One of the things I've come to understand, Wilton, is that the wisest people understand how much more there's yet to learn, not how little they know. People get hung up
100%.
sometimes with this mindset that if they admit they don't know something, that's a weakness. No, instead of saying, hey, I don't know that, it's like there's so much more yet to learn. It's a positive perspective about gaining wisdom, insight, perspective from others.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So well done
And,
in
and
making
you
that transition. I found the wise people, the ones who really accelerate, they had that different perspective and made all the difference.
all the difference, and they make the difference. They still make those differences, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So if you think about your journey as an employer, what have you learned about being an employer since starting your business?
What I learned is that character counts.
Mhm.
Having, you know, like again, being raised on the farm, I just think there's a different work ethic. I think it's just in knowing that most people aren't going to necessarily work like me is not something I look at anymore. Where I used to, I'm like, oh, these guys don't work that hard, and I don't want them. And but knowing that their character was good character, and they were good at what they did, allowed the energy within the company to just to be, phenomenal. So I think for us bringing in the right people, making sure that they have the passion, the vision, and the love of what they do, has made a big difference. So if they're bought into what we do and they have a good vision for what they want for themselves and their families, not for the company, because the company's gonna because if you motivate them to have something, a vision for them and their families, they're gonna do what they want to do. They're gonna do what they need to do to make that happen. And they have good character. That's made a big difference. I remember hiring people that just had skill, but somewhat toxic, and it really just damaged our growth, damaged opportunity. And knowing that you have people that may not have the the certifications and experience as others, but their character and their hard work and their passion, is at a different level. I'll hire them over the one that has all the credentials in a heartbeat. So I think character and being able to have that motivation, the passion to work hard, um, has really made our company grow.
So true. Work hard's important. I think it was Thomas Edison who it was supposedly said the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary.
Yeah, that's it. It's very well. Yep, and I remember that quote now to say it. And what's interesting is every time someone is being hired, I just tell my staff, or if they're working in the marketing and the operations or sales, I'm like, you hired them. I said, you find out who you want to bring on. I'll interview them, but I'm gonna find out who they are. Because if I know that they're going to be motivated because of their family, that they're going to be they're hard workers, they're visionaries, their character is good. That's what I hire on. You're going to hire on their merit. You're going to hire on their skill set. You're going to hire on what they can bring and what they can. If they're a good developer, you know, they're a good developer. Bring in, I want to see if they're a good character. And I always make that last interview because if they don't fit, and there's a couple people that I've let go that have come with like, oh, why don't you hire him? It's like he wasn't a good fit. You know, it just wasn't a good fit. And it made a big difference. It made a big difference. So definitely. Yeah.
So last question, it's so true. Last question for today. So how do you balance your personal life with the demands of being an entrepreneur, being a business owner?
Um, you know, well, first of all, I think I have a pretty good schedule. First of all, I have a wife that is no nonsense. So, so she keeps me in check. She's like, nope, these are the days that you're gonna be off. But what I've learned to do is I used to always think there's a work-life balance, but they're all when you're an entrepreneur, they're all mixed in together because your mind never shuts off. You know, it's a weekend. Physically, I'm not in front of my computer, I'm not talking on the phone, I'm not doing work in my office, but mentally I'm still there.
Mhm.
So what I've learned to do is set my physical time a schedule. And it's you know, I get up real early in the morning, I spend time by myself, spend time with the Lord, spend time motivating my health, and then I go into work mode. And then by a certain time, I cut it off. But I always leave time within that period of time. Like right after this, you know, I'm gonna go for a little walk just to get away from the office and probably make a video and do things like that. But I spend that time. But I always what I've learned is that weekends are saved for my family. Like I'll shut it off. If you follow me on LinkedIn, which I'm pretty active on, weekends I'm never on. I shut off social media, right? I'm off. That's my family time. But my work time is when I'm working and my family knows don't bother him, he's working. Let him get his job done because the minute I shut it off, I've learned mentally how to sort of shut it off. I learned when it comes dinner time, shut it off. When it comes, you know, if we're eating dinner at 6 o'clock, by 5:30, my mind better be away from that. I'm talking to my kids and finding out how their day's going and fully involved. So I've learned how to mix it all into one. But I stick by a schedule. And if there's family things, like if my son's going on a field trip, my wife will
Mhm.
put in my calendar you know, to a month ahead of time saying, here it is, take off, I'm already set. So she knows when my work schedule is so we can set family time away. But anything outside that, it's family. It's family because when I'm more engaged with them and I understand how their day goes, it motivates me the next day to do more because I'm so invested into what they're doing and who they are that it motivates me to spend that time focused on work so I can get things done.
Mhm. But now, again, well done. You've put priorities in place, how you start your day. You take care of number one first, which is the Heavenly
Yes.
Father. Then you take care of number two, which is you. Because what you're demonstrating and modeling for other entrepreneurs is unless you take care of yourself, Wilton, you won't be able to take care of your family.
Right.
Unless you get
Yeah.
fed by the Heavenly Father, you're not going to be able to take care of yourself as well. So you start with number one, then you work on number two, then you can take care of everyone else. Is that
That's
what I'm
it.
hearing from you?
That's exactly what you're hearing.
Yeah.
Before my feet touch the ground, I thank him for the day, and then I get on my knees and I thank him for allowing me to do what I'm about to do for the day. And I spend time with my Bible. My wife is the same way. She gets up earlier than I do to read the Bible, and we spend that time in prayer. And then I spend time with my physical health, which automatically triggers to my mental health, and then it allows me to be prepared for the day.
Spiritual health, physical health, mental health.
You know, that's it. That's
Nice.
it. In that order.
And thank you for sharing the business community because that is so important.
Absolutely.
We have a formula actually, coach. Be times do equals have. Your being times how many hours you put in equals what you have. When you work on your being, that's a force multiplier against the hours you put in. and you've got a great ritual, which amps up your who you are, your being.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well, thank you.
All right. I appreciate you. Wow. Fabulous sharings for the business community. Greatly appreciate it. Any last words, Wilton?
No, I really appreciate, you allow me to share my story, and and I just think for all the entrepreneurs listening out there is that, if you're really passionate about what you're doing, you really have to have that perspective as far as making sure that you take care of, and you brought up at the end, and I wish I would like to share this a lot more, is take care of your spirit, take care of your body, take care of your mind, and in that order, the Lord and your body and your mind will take care of everything else.
Amen. Amen. Peace be with you. God be with you.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you.